If you're coming to Lisbon, here's what you should eat. We've all been there. You work your butt off, finally get a vacay, fly across the world, and boom, you're eating overpriced, underwhelming food with a bunch of other tourists. Frustrating, right? But don't worry, I got you. I hit up Lisbon's most touristy spots so you don't have to, and ask the locals for much better alternatives. So, here's Lisbon's tourist traps versus local favorites. What happens when you take a charming European city and open it to the entire world? You got $500,000, you get a golden visa. In 5 years, you're a citizen. The promise of the European dream is strong, isn't it? Since then, tourist numbers have tripled, and golden visas keep piling up. So here we have Baixa. Once an eclectic neighborhood, but now tourists, foreigners have driven out locals. Buildings are turned into Airbnbs, souvenir shops, and restaurants with hawk-eyed hosts. Chances are you'll be staying here, as it's centrally located. But finding an authentic restaurant in a touristy area can be like finding a wife on Tinder. Luckily, there are exceptions. You know it's a legit place when you see busy locals and construction workers lining up at as Bifanas do Afonso to get this rustic yet delicate play of textures. Tender, slow-cooked pork marinated in white wine, garlic, and herbs, hugged by a crispy crust of papas secos. This is the Portuguese bifana sandwich. It's pretty delicious, so tender. And you can see the bread is a little bit toasted. The Portuguese roll is chewy, yet light and airy. With a squirt of sweet mustard and the draft superbok, a new craving unlocked. Construction guys swore on their wife and children that this was the best bifana in town. So, to test that claim, I went to Otrevo, famously visited by Bourdain. I think they were right.
If you grab the glass on the right hand, you have to drink it in one sip.
Right hand is penalty.
Oh!
That's what we call penalty. Yeah, it's a penalty.
Oh, we didn't know! Okay, so when I was researching Lisbon, everyone and their mother recommended Time Out Market, as if it was the second coming of Christ. When I arrived late last night, I met a group of local cyclists, and their reaction when I mentioned the Time Out Market was... At the Time Out Market, wow, one donut is €7, guys. It might be heavily leaning towards just tourists. Ooh, I think they give you cooking classes here. I want something that I cannot get anywhere else except in Lisbon. Time has come. The bacalhau is here. So we have the cod fritters with feijoada, delicious rice and beans. It's absolutely crazy to me that when the world's best fish are caught fresh almost every day here, the Portuguese keep eating cod all the way from Norway. Like, what? Portugal eats 20% of the world's cod? Not too much breading, which I love. So, no wonder that patanisca de bacalhau, a traditional Portuguese snack where families would fry the leftover cod and batter with herbs, is just one recipe out of thousands. Here we have also the Portuguese traditional octopus salad. The octopus salad, on the other hand, felt like a proud statement that Portugal makes the best olive oil. Amazing. Perfect. Nutty but zingy, it really made the octopus shine. We don't hear much about Portuguese olive oil, but turns out Portugal is in the top 5 olive oil producers in Europe. If you see, all these stands have the chef's names, and then they have all the menus written down, and then they're usually ranging from €10 to €40. And this one, I think, because she specializes in traditional Portuguese food, I think she wanted to make it affordable, but then also, pay an homage to traditional food.
These places where you are going, it's for tourists.
The guys mentioned that an average salary in Portugal is around $1,000 a month, and clearly Time Out's prices were... Well, I've heard all languages but Portuguese when I was there. So, if Time Out is overrated, what's the alternative?
Vai até o Chiado.
Whoa!
gonna scratch the historic tram.
The streets are so narrow that sometimes you bump into cars parked on the street and you can literally touch them. Amazing. And I think our driver isn't happy about that. We're in a pickle. We're gonna stay here for a while.
The whole city's behind us.
Então você sobe lá em cima, passa. Está todo trancado aqui. Estava trancado, o senhor tirou o carro de frente.
Alright. It was a pretty nice adventure. I wanted to skip out the timeout market because, of course, it's more, posh and fancy type of market, and I wanted a local feel. So that's why I find myself here. Mercado de Campo de Urique might not have the buzz of timeout, but it's a small but mighty market where mostly locals buy groceries, olive oil, wine, meats to grill. Not a lot of tourists come here because it's a little bit far from the city center. When you're in Lisbon, you're gonna see a lot of restaurants having menus like tapas bar, tapas. But in Portugal, they're called petiscos. So you will look at the menu, and if they're saying tapas, most likely it's a restaurant designed for tourists. Then choose some petiscos to eat for an afternoon chit-chat. For example, €5. This is a crazy amount of shavings here. This is a great deal. Portuguese must eat bacalhau à brás. Portuguese say that this dish takes them back to childhood every time. Bacalhau à brás is made by taking the dried cod, soaking it overnight until it's tender, flaking it, and then mixing it with shoestring fries and scrambled eggs. A national dish that was created right here in Lisbon looks simple, yet it's tricky to master. This is it. Oh, forget about the timeout market bacalhau. Eggs have to be creamy, but the potatoes crunchy, while the cod soft and flavorful. And this brings me back to the cod obsession. Did it start since the colonial expeditions, or was it because of the dictator Salazar, who pushed cod as a national identity? What are your thoughts? Alright, here we have another petisco I can't stop thinking about is berbigão. Looking like baby clams, the cockles are thrown and steamed in the pot with plenty of garlic and lemon until they crack open. Gotta love Portuguese cuisine for this. Just natural, minimally processed foods with a healthy amount of meat. Some scientists say that their diet, the Atlantic diet, is better than the Mediterranean. Whoa. And of course, what's a video without oysters?
You taste pastel of nata?
Hey guys! Today is another day to be... Oh my god! There are 3 things that you can count on in Lisbon. One is pretty well known, pastéis de Belém. The runny egg custard tart, slightly charred, flaky. The moment of truth. So, pastéis de nata, originally... I was gonna talk about the history, but who am I kidding? You hate history lessons. Just know that this is where they originate from. The lines for this are pretty ludicrous. There's like table service here, and then there's another line in the back, and you don't want to be doing that. Everyone will line up to eat inside, but don't waste your precious time, so just take it to go. Total time spent, 2 minutes. And you can enjoy it in peace with a beautiful view of the Geronimus Monastery. The way you have to judge the pastel de nata, the Portuguese egg tart, is... The ones at St. George Castle doesn't even come near to this. Like, look at my fingers, already so oily. Oh, look at the duckies. And number 2 is... Yes.
So if you drink on this chocolate cup, it's like a refill.
They give you another one.
You have 2.
There are countless bars in Lisbon that serve you this amazing sour cherry liquor with Portuguese brandy. No matter touristy, non-touristy, it'll be good. But you really get to discover Ginjinha's charm on the streets of Alfama, the historic neighborhood that hasn't changed much, surviving a fire, earthquake, even a tsunami will take you in with its maze-like streets that you'd be happily get lost in. And the best part? Around every corner, there's a grandma selling you a shot of their homemade Ginjinha for €1.
You made it? Oh.
Maria Teresa.
And it's actually not that sweet as I expected. So, cheers. This 40 proof liquor will give you a nice afternoon buzz until you encounter yet another grandma. So on and so forth. Do you see on top of that building, like black spots on top of it? I thought those are like pigeons or some birds, but turns out... Oh wow! Look at this view! Okay, well worth the 450 euros, man. Praça do Comércio is undoubtedly yet another tourist central like Baixa. Alright, I'm walking north from Praça do Comércio. Rua Augusta is the main shopping street with restaurants that serve you 10 different cuisines. Here's your burger, here's your taco, tapas, pasta, but in the midst of it, there's one local approved spot. Can you recommend one place here? Guess who's Europe's largest consumer of fish? Iceland. Now guess who comes in second? You got it right, Portugal. So this dish at Marisqueira Uma is Portugal's true classic, arroz de marisco, a vibrant seafood boil where everything from prawns, clams, mussels to succulent crab come together in a buttery, decadent rice base. It's like swimming in the ocean while eating everything in it. And also, try their chorizo while you're here. I knew I'd be coming to Bairro Alto a lot, even before coming to Lisbon. 200 bars and pubs densely spread across its streets. Scoring decent food in a drinking district is a challenge. But as I was told, there's a diamond in the rough. Antonia Petiscos. The crispy, smoky skin, juicy, flavorful flesh of these sardines. I still think about this dish while writing this VO. Also, we got the slow-roasted lamb marinated in red wine and camarão con alho, savory garlic shrimp sautéed in butter. Remember I was talking about 3 constants before? The third thing you can always count on in Lisbon is... which turns out this is... the tascas, humble, family-run eateries that truly feed the nation. Sure, you'll be drawn to fancy wine bars and trendy farm-to-table spots, $30–40 a dish, but locals often find themselves gathering with family and friends at places like... Head to O Semnome after you check out the Belém Tower and the monastery, a truly local spot where people think you're lost, where you'll have some language barrier, but friendly servers, even locals, will help you order some staples, like the swordfish and the lagartos, tender pork rib loin. I thought Americans actually eat a lot of French fries, but turns out Portuguese are obsessed with French fries. You know, I don't think you can go wrong with any type of fish dish in Portugal. They just know what they're working with. Yummy. I can't get over the fact that the fish here tastes really special. Lisbon has a lot of viewpoints, and you can smell all the sardines and all the caught fish while you're walking through the alleys. A hidden gem on the outskirts of the historic Alfama district, Massa Verde. This tasca alone made my trip. When they gave me the menu, I couldn't understand anything, and I think that's a really good sign. And another good sign of a good restaurant, of a good tasca, is these ones. Staff that barely speaks English, soft murmurs of locals over lunch, and the prices? Right up my alley. Here we have the green wine, the Vino Verde. And the food even better. As a Mongolian, I don't find lamb on many menus in the States, but surprisingly, Portuguese cuisine is so diverse. You'll keep seeing both seafood and land dishes in many tascas throughout Lisbon. Here we have a stewed lamb meat, deliciously soft and tender. I'm a Mongolian, so I have a weakness for lamb. I dug into ensopado de borrego, tender lamb stewed in white wine with potatoes, garlic, and bay leaves. We have grilled mackerel right here. Then there's carapau grelado, grilled mackerel drizzled with holy olive oil. This is a good dish. Wow. Yo! This is perfect with the beer. Super bulk. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now and eat. Food is an important part of travel, but there's more to know about Lisbon. Click here and I'll see you in the next video.